Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. A few months ago I did a review on the FX DRS Classic, sub 12 foot-pound, standard synthetic stock, short barrel. I thought it was absolutely superb and I wanted the FAC version. Well, let me just click that box over and here we have FX FAC version of the DRS Classic. But this one is the high power FAC version. It's the 600mm barrel and this is the standard grade 1 walnut stock. Now when I looked through the price list I was a little bit shocked actually, because that piece of timber is, this is the grade 1 gun according to all the paperwork. That piece of timber is pretty stunning in my opinion. I think it really is an absolutely superb unit, that. So the grade 2 must be absolutely unbelievable if this is a grade 1. But anyway, let's look at some of the details. Initially we've got a magazine, we've got an instruction book. Let's get rid of the box. Blink. Right, so let's talk about it. Let's just have a quick look at the magazine. This has got the pin probe for filling. So this is in here. There we go, that's that. These are the new steel pin probes, a little bit stronger, less likely to have any problems with it. That goes in there, fills up your bottle. And we have also got in here the magazine. Now this rifle has a few O-rings there spare as well. Those are for the pin probe if you ever want to replace one. This rifle is available in 177, 22 and 25 caliber. And this is a 2.2 one and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shot capacity. Now this is, I know everybody wants to super tune rifles and have this, that and the other, but this is what I would call, and I think everybody should call it, it's a hunting rifle. It is a very nice stock and it's certainly going to be a little bit of a rifle to look at and talk about, but the handling of it's beautiful. And okay, it hasn't got a scope on yet or maybe a moderator, but it really has some poise and balance to it, and I do think it looks rather special. You've got a nice elevated Monte Carlo comb here. I can't stop talking about that grain, I think it's just nice. Recoil pad, we've got stood there for a sling. There isn't one at the front still, which is a little bit unusual, but there we go. Now this has got the full pen and barrel, the barrel is in fact strained within that outer. This is a massive benefit of the DRS in my opinion, because it just gives so much more stiffness to the barrel and the STX liner within. The front end here is threaded 1/2 inch, so you can put a sound moderator on that. I've got a few sound moderators, I might try a couple of those. Of course you've got the power plenum here which keeps the air flowing beautifully, all the regulated airflow. 2-position safety catch, safe and fire, and of course it is a very nice side lever cocking system which is super light. You can bring that back, squeeze the trigger and decock that, so there's no issue. But let's do a dry fire. This is a safe dry fire. It will be quite loud because this is an FAC spec rifle. Boom. That is a super crisp adjustable trigger for position. Everything for that is covered in the manual and we'll look at all that in the full review. But in the meantime, on top here we've got an 11mm dovetail. I'll pop the magazine in, talk about the scope in a second. Let's just have a quick look at some of the overall details and dimensions. So the facts we're going to want to know primarily are overall length and overall weight. Overall length is 41.5 inches and that is 1055mm. Length of pull is 13 7/8, which is 352mm. That's going to be quite nice for shooting. It's a right-handed rifle. Will it also be comfortable left-handed? Yes, it is also comfortable left-handed if you need to use it that way. So let's check the weight now. Overall weight is in grams. Just pop that on there. 2,659 grams, which is in freedom units, £5 13.8 ounces. So let's call that £5 14 ounces. Pop those to one side. Again, we're going to have to do a safe dry fire again here to check the trigger pull. Pop these on. Always go in grams first just because that's the way I'm wired. And that is 318 grams, which is 11.2 ounces. That's a nice light trigger. So the details on the stock, obviously, as I'm going to say again, it's the walnut is beautiful on this. It's a matte finish on it, but it seems like it's an oiled finish. It's really nice. It's not got a horrible sort of cheap synthetic finish on it. I can't get over how nice that is. I'm being really gooey now, aren't I? We've got some sort of stippled panels here, which look like they've been done with a laser. And that gives you a little bit more tactile grip and perception there. Whether you're going to shoot this off a bag or a bipod or sticks or anything, that's completely up to you. Again, we've got a little bit more of this sort of straight line stippling on the grip here. And there's a metal trigger guard there. Disassembly screws and Allen key there. And then on top, we've got 11mm dovetail rail for normal dovetail rings. You can put anything on that. And of course, if you want to go night vision, you can use a tube night vision unit. Look at some rings in a moment. And then on the side there, we've got the fill gauge. This is probably a 250 bar fill, but I will check all that in the details for the full review. I can't not say, it just looks so nice, doesn't it? Right, while we're just talking through some of the details at the start, the scope I've got for this is a primary arms, first focal plane, 4:16 by 50. Now again, this is a hunting rifle. I'm actually looking forward to doing some hunting with this. It's not some huge, great tactical precision machine which has got a lot of bells and whistles and knobs and adjusters on it. This is for going hunting, nothing to get caught on bushes or on bales or anything like that. 4:16 should be about perfect on this, but let's have a look at the pertinent features of this scope. Just move that out of the way there. So, primary arms, lifetime warranty, it says on the box there. We have got a rear scope cap there, we've got a front scope cap. These are Butler Creek flip up caps, been around a long time, great design. Just jink those out of there. This looks like now that is, you know, it's a sort of medium-sized sort of scope. We've got a 30mm tube, we've got large target turrets on it. These look like they've got click to adjust buttons on them there. It's first focal plane, so we've got a nice mil-dot reticle, which of course being first focal plane will become larger as we zoom in. It's nice and simple, nice and clean actually. I do like that. Illumination, parallax control on the side. And the eye relief, as I say, I haven't measured the exact dimensions yet, it doesn't seem too long. Now, one thing I'll definitely say is about any scope that you're going to put on an air rifle, it really does need to be parallax adjustable down to a short distance. 50 metres is no good, because many of us will shoot air guns shorter than 50 metres. So being able to adjust all the way down is excellent, and this one seems to go on the dial, on the side, well below 50. Here we've got 25, that goes down all the way there. So I suspect that's going to zero and that's going to parallax free down to about 10 or 15 meters probably. That has got an adjustable zoom there. I can't perceive any internal motion, there's no noise coming from inside. Fast focus eyepiece on the back, that's slightly rubberized, again it's all grippy. Looks like the fit and finish of it, the actual finishing of the metal, the aluminium tube, it's got a nice aluminium hard anodizing. It's not picking up all the dust off my skin. There's nothing looks scruffier than this scope that's got like sandpaper finish, the aluminium, and of course it gets all the dust off your hands and it just always looks a bit white and smeared and scruffy. So this one is in milliradians, it's first focal plane, which makes me a very happy boy because I like milliradians and first focal plane. The mounts I'm using, I've just grabbed these off the shelf. I do have a few of these in stock because I need lots of scope mounts. These are Element Optics XT mounts. Again, Sportsman Gun Centre have supplied those. So we've got the 11mm dovetail there. These are the high ones, 30mm ring space. Nice simple mount, beautifully made, and those have been nothing but satisfactory in every situation I've used them before. So these will be going on this rifle. Clonker, clonker, clonker. That's a nice sort of proportion going on there. And I will say, instantly, I'm ever so slightly disappointed that there isn't a front sling stud, because there is one at the back now, but nothing at the front. Yes, you could add one, but I can't add one to this gun because it's not mine. But I'm genuinely really looking forward to shooting this. It is FAC specification. I don't know what the predicted power levels are. They're not listed on the, well, they are listed on the FX website, but it does tend to vary country to country, specification to specification. So I'll be measuring that and showing it to what it really does. I will be checking it with multiple weights of pellet. I will probably try a few slugs through it as well, just to see how those go on in the STX liner. but it's a hunting rifle. It's for walking, stalking, hunting. It's maybe not the long range precision rifle some people think they want, but this is where it's at. So I predominantly do prefer pellets for that kind of thing anyway. Ratting, stuff like that around farmyards, rabbit control, pellets just work beautifully. And if this is producing something like, let's say 30 to 50 foot-pounds, I think that's ideal for 22 caliber FAC air rifle, because you'll get a decent shot count out of it. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed those first impressions and my genuine glee at this rifle, because I'm going to say it again, that stock just looks lovely, doesn't it? It's got lovely figuring in the walnut, and I really think that looks superb. And it's got that lovely tactile feel. It just comes into your shoulder. It's got no kind of resonance to it. It just feels spot on. So I am looking forward to shooting this, and hopefully when I do the full review, you're going to see this smile. It's still going to be on my face. Right, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell and keep track of my regular uploads, and go all the way through to the end of the video, because you'll see the advert for the 2025 British Shooting Show. Right, thank you for watching. Bye for now. Since you're all here anyway and I've got the tools out to do this, I'm just going to put the scope on this. So you can sit there and watch me do it, because some of you will no doubt listen to me whittering away as I'm putting this in place. These have got T15 Torx on the side, so it's very easy to use my T15 Torx wrench, which is set up at 2 Newton meters. Slot these on here. I do need to double check with this rifle that these are going to be tall enough to make sure the scope goes above the magazine. So let's just pop that magazine in. There's no pellet in it, so I won't be able to close it, but that is easily going to clear the magazine. So actually, depending on where that scope's looking like fitting, to be fair, that scope looks like it's going to be okay there, so I could probably put lower rings in that if I wanted. I'm just going to decock this now. Right, take the tops of the rings off. Now, another little thing about scope rings is that you can see I am just using this torque wrench, which has got a little bit of mass to it, and just flicking those, and those spin out really easily. Now, how smooth the screws run in the threads is a bit indicative of some of the machining and manufacturing quality. These run very smoothly, and it means that when I am actually torquing these back down in place, I'm torquing them down against the tension in the screw, not just against the friction being implied by the poor metal quality on them. So that looks about perfect for height above the barrel. I've got about what we've got there, maybe a 3-4 millimeter gap. Just tighten these down. Another admission of guilt, I haven't got my reading glasses on, so I've done this once or twice before. I can almost virtually do it by feel alone, but if you see me craning my head back, that's why. And anybody over the age of 40 will probably completely understand why that's the case as well. So I'm just spinning these in place, making sure the gap either side is about even. It's about a sort of 1.5–2 millimeter gap on these, just so it looks nice and level. And that's before we sort of put them and tension them in position. So I'm literally doing those finger tight. I'm probably going to slide that forward, because we have to have a look now at the eye relief. It's a little bit close to me. So the front ring is where it is. The rear ring can go forward a little bit. Just going to slide that all the way forward to there. So I'll put, essentially, I'm keeping the rings as far apart as they'll go, but I'm also putting the scope as far forward as it'll go without anything in contact. And I want a tiny little gap here, just between the saddle of the scope, which is a kind of spherical section in the centre, and the ring itself. So if I just pop that there, I've literally got a notional gap between the two. And similar, just making sure none of this kind of different diameter sections are in contact with each other. And that is still just slightly there, so I can turn it around. I'll look through this now. Eye relief is pretty much cock on there, or should I say correct. Now you can use all sorts of systems, all sorts of tools for leveling scopes. Whatever way you do it, someone will say, that's wrong, my way's better. Well, please tell me I'm wrong, use your way, that's fine, but I will do my way, because my way is to line up the lower crosshair with the centre of the bolt. And I can see the bolt comes in and out here, I can see the keyways in the bolt, and I will just literally draw my head all the way back until the exit pupil is like a tiny little pinhole. And then I can just move the gun until that pinhole has got the centre of the crosshair in it and it's lined up with the centre of the bolt. And the thing is, people pick up my rifles, no one ever says this rifle looks skew-if. They all say it looks fine. And yes, when you move into long range shooting, things like that, there are certain technical elements you need to be a little bit more careful about. But do you know what? My way works for me, and nobody seems to complain when they see the guns. So now that I just need to make sure I'm tightening these up in sequence, diagonally, one at a time, nothing more than my fingers, nip them in place, and then we'll get to the point where this will click, 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 click. And then I will just do the same with the front one as well, making sure, again, all diagonally, backwards and forwards, make sure I'm not twisting the scope at all, just with my fingertips. You know, all we're doing is turning the screws in position, and again this comes back to the screws having nice smooth movement within the machining of the ring. We're not having to really force anything. I can feel the tension building up until the point where that torque wrench clicks at 2 Newton meters, which is whatever you want to convert that to in inch pounds. And there we go. I am now 100% confident that that scope is going to be happily in use for me. Depending on where you shoot the rifle, some people who shoot prone might find the scope needs to be a little bit further forward. People who shoot only ever standing up or seated will generally maybe have the scope a little bit further backward. But that's about setting up for your usage and for your eyes. Right, there we go. I've said all the like, subscribe bit. I'll take this shooting tomorrow morning, and I'm looking forward to it. Right, bye for now.